Now it is my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished 2015 commencement speaker. Dr. C.D. Mote Jr. is the president of the National Academy of Engineering, whose mission is to advance the well-being of the nation by promoting a vibrant engineering profession and by marshaling the expertise and insights of eminent engineers to provide independent advice to the federal government on matters involving engineering and technology. Dan is a native Californian, received 3 degrees from UC Berkeley in mechanical engineering. After a few years in England and at what's now known as Carnegie Mellon University, Dan joined the UC Berkeley faculty in late 1960s and would spend the next 31 years there. During his time at Berkeley, Dan and his students explored problems in dynamics, stability, and control of objects in rotation or translation. 58 PhD students have graduated under his guidance. Dan's pioneering research was recognized in 1988 with his election to the National Academy of Engineering for analysis of the mechanics of complex dynamic systems, providing results of great practical importance in vibrations and biomechanics. As you know, election to the Academy is one of the highest honors that can be bestowed on an engineer. As an academic leader, Dan is equally accomplished. He was the Vice Chancellor at UC Berkeley in the early 1990s, leading a successful $1.4 billion campaign. In 1998, Dan was named the president of the University of Maryland, College Park. During his 12-year tenure as the leader, Maryland saw its research funding increase by 150% and built a 130-acre research park. Dan remains a Regents Professor on leave at Maryland. In 2013, Dr. Mote was elected as president of the National Academy of Engineering. Since becoming NAE president, Dan has been a champion for increasing talent into engineering workforce, increasing the global role of US engineers, and promoting the visibility of engineers. At this time, it is my privilege to present to Dr. Mote with UCLA Engineering Medal in recognition of his many distinguished achievements in scholarship, teaching, and mentoring, and for his accomplishments as a university leader and of the National Academy of Engineering. I am extremely proud to present the UCLA Engineering Medal on behalf of the UCLA Henry Samueli School of Engineering and Applied Science to Dr. C.D. Mote, Jr.
I guess I should wear this for a second. Front. I was an undergraduate student too. I know how this works. Dean Deere, thank you very much, and thank all of the UCLA family for recognizing me with this medal. I'm extremely touched by this sentiment, and proud, I would say, as well. You know, commencement is a university ritual which always works, and I offer my esteemed congratulations to all you graduate Bruins for passing this milestone. It will open many doors for you and bring more pride to the university and relief to your parents than you possibly can know. Now, some of you already know what you're going to do next, and some of you are still working on it, but rest assured, whatever pile you fall into, it'll always work out, because it always has. You have many lives ahead of you that are not predictable today. You can trust me on that. Clearly, you have just reason to be proud of yourselves. As Dean Deere said, you're graduating from a truly fine university. This places you among the top engineering graduates, and in fact, among the top university graduates anywhere, as a matter of fact. In addition, you all came to UCLA as very fine students too. So as a young person, you were probably counseled to do the right thing all the time. You had little time to play around, to fail subjects, or even risk a blemish on your record. You probably know your grade point average to 3 decimal places, as a matter of fact. Now, everyone around you urged you to do the right thing, do what's expected of you, because it's necessary to get to the top. So you did the right thing, and here you sit today at the top. So now you're probably thinking, hey, what's the problem here? Well, possibly there is a problem, because 2 questions remain open. First, is doing the right thing all the time really necessary to get to the top? Or more importantly, is doing the right thing all the time even lead to great success? Now, some people simply refuse to do the right thing, to do what others expect of them. Of course, many of them do not graduate from very fine universities like UCLA. Many are adventurers or dropouts or end up flipping burgers at McDonald's, not where most of us want to end up. But some, like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Larry Page, create companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Google. Or aiming extremely high, some like the most famous scientist in world history, Charles Darwin, who was told by his father, "You will be a disgrace to yourself and all your family," because he had dropped out of both Edinburgh University and the University of Cambridge, where he had been studying divinity in one and medicine in the other. His father thought he was a dandy, basically caring only about clothes and parties and going nowhere in life. Then at age 20, Darwin sails off to the Galapagos, where he conceived the theory of evolution. Or there was John Harrison, described pejoratively in English history as a carpenter. In the 18th century, Harrison designed a clock that was accurate to 5 seconds over an ocean voyage from England to the West Indies and back. I mean, 5 seconds. That clock was the key to his winning the Longitude Prize, established by the English Parliament to award a method to determine the longitude of a ship at sea. The longitude problem was the greatest navigation problem of the time. He beat the Royal Observatory to the prize, which was founded by King Charles II specifically to solve the longitude problem using astronomy, not a clock. But alas, a reality stood in the way. The weather in the North Atlantic often renders the stars invisible, negating astronomy for navigation. A mistake that a Bruin engineer graduating today would surely not make. And then there was this young Swiss fellow who dropped out of high school because he refused to accept rote teaching methods used at the time. He was described by his teachers as lazy, slow, and dreamy, and ultimately he was denied admission to the Swiss Federal Polytechnic in Zurich because he failed several subjects. Despite having no high school diploma and no university credentials, and possibly because of his refusing to do the right thing, Albert Einstein created the theory of general relativity, discovered quantum mechanics, and the equivalence of mass and energy. Now, these people all refused to do what others expected of them. They worked out on the edges of their fields, not in the middle, not in the mainstream of the day. But then, great contributions in any field are made only at the edges, never in the middle. The frontiers, after all, never lie in the middle. So where do you find these edges? Well, first, just look around you. The edges are lonely places. They're high-risk places. They are easily criticized places. The edges are where most people, especially the top students, are afraid to go. Einstein once said, if an idea is not at first considered to be absurd, there'll never be any hope for it. If people approve of where you're going, you're probably not at the edge, but squarely in the middle. Doing the right thing is doing what people expect of you. That reduces criticism, puts you in the middle, and away from the absurd, away from the edge. Essentially, all forces of society push high achievers, especially people just like you, toward the middle and away from the edges. Think about how our reward system work, which is not all subtly, by the way, push high achievers toward the middle, with admission to top universities, with memberships in honor societies and academies, with scholarships and prizes, with high-paying jobs, with promotions and raises, and with the high praise from family and friends. You know, it started with stars on your papers in kindergarten. To walk away from these accolades, all earned by doing the right thing, requires exceptional determination. Accordingly, most high achievers just don't do it. And over time, they move further toward the middle by doing the right thing and unwittingly diminishing their opportunities for ever making great contributions. While they may appear to succeed, but because they never get out of the middle, they do little of great significance. This may explain why a disproportionately high number of people who have influenced society greatly were not seen as high achievers early on. High achievers feel that they have too much risk for that action. Darwin, Harrison, Einstein, Gates, Jobs, Page, hey, they were all dropouts after all. So my first thought for you is this. Think about getting out on the edge some of the time. Give yourself a chance to become a great contributor. Think about how much risk you're willing to take, but don't obsess over it. Listen to your heart if your brain feels full. This is your life. Be driven by your passion. Passion drives great achievements. No passion yields no great achievements. It is about that simple. Be ready to say yes when opportunity arises. Those three letters, Y-E-S, are life-transforming. People only regret the things that they do not do. My second thought for you is to be wary of society's incessant push towards the middle, toward doing the right thing all the time. Break a rule every day. The frontiers are waiting to be opened and then reopened repeatedly by the next great idea. We can't say where and when it will happen, except it will happen at the edges, and you need to be there to be part of it. So as you sally forth from UCLA, I wish you wisdom in handling the myriad of opportunities that lie ahead for you, and they will be there, so be ready for them. And remember your alma mater now and then, for she has done more for you than you realize today. And don't forget to call your mothers. Even more must be said for her. Congratulations on this grand day.
Thank you, Dan, for that inspiring speech. By the way, the medal that was presented is made of pure gold. And with that, we thank you again one more time.